She was accused of murdering her roommate and sentenced to 26 years in prison before being acquitted.
It was the night of November 1st, 2007, in Perugia, Italy.
I think if you went back to Italy right now, you could ask anyone. I'll say, yeah, she's a killer. They got her out.
A young British student, Meredith Kercher, shared a small house with other students, including an American girl named Amanda Knox. The night started like any other in the quiet university town. Halloween celebrations had just ended, and students were slowly returning to their routines. But inside that little house, something unthinkable was about to happen. Later, police and neighbors would remember the eerie silence that surrounded the house. Behind those doors, Meredith was attacked in her own bedroom. She fought hard, but the violence was too brutal. By the time anyone realized, her life had been taken in the most terrifying way. The scene was shocking: blood on the floor, signs of a struggle, and a locked room that hid the horror within. That night changed everything. It was not just the end of Meredith's young and promising life, but the beginning of a case that would shake the world. A case filled with mystery, suspicion, and questions that would not find clear answers for years. For Amanda Knox, the roommate, this night would forever tie her name to a story of crime, fear, and endless debate. A shocking discovery: the next morning, November 2, 2007, the house in Perugia was unusually quiet. Amanda Knox returned with her boyfriend, Rafael Solicito, after spending the night away. When they stepped inside, something felt wrong. The front door was unlocked, and the place seemed disturbed. In one bathroom, Amanda noticed drops of blood in the sink and on the mat. At first, she tried to believe it was nothing serious, but the uneasy feeling grew stronger with every step. When they looked around more carefully, they noticed that Meredith's bedroom door was locked. Repeated knocks went unanswered. Worry turned to fear. Amanda and Rafael called the police, and soon officers arrived along with Meredith's friends. The door was forced open, and inside was a sight no one would ever forget. Meredith Kercher lay lifeless on the floor, partially covered with a blanket, her throat cut in a violent attack. Shock spread instantly. Friends screamed, police froze, and Amanda broke down in panic. This was no accident. The crime scene showed clear signs of a struggle, and the brutality pointed toward murder. News of a foreign student's death in such a small Italian town traveled fast. The once peaceful house had become a crime scene, and within hours, investigators began piecing together the fragments of a mystery that would soon capture worldwide attention. Amanda under watch, as police began their investigation, their eyes quickly turned toward Amanda Knox. She was Meredith's roommate, and her behavior after the murder seemed unusual to many. In those early hours, officers noticed Amanda hugging Rafael, kissing him, and even smiling at times. To investigators, it looked careless and strange given the horror inside the house. Soon, whispers began. Was Amanda hiding something? At the police station, Amanda gave her version of events, but small details seemed unclear. She said she had spent the night at Rafael's apartment, watching a movie and sleeping late. Yet investigators felt her story lacked certainty. Her manner, sometimes calm, sometimes nervous, only raised more suspicion. Italian police, under pressure from the media and the community, began to see Amanda not as a grieving friend, but as a possible suspect. The press added fuel to the fire. Newspapers called her Foxy Knoxy, painting a picture of a wild young woman living a carefree life in Italy. Every gesture, every word she spoke was twisted into a clue of guilt. For Amanda, the nightmare was only beginning. What started as a tragic discovery of her roommate's death was quickly turning into a spotlight of suspicion, one that would follow her for years to come. Stories in conflict as investigators pushed forward. The stories from Amanda Knox and Rafael Solicito began to shift under pressure. Police interrogations stretched late into the night, filled with confusion and exhaustion. At one point, Amanda claimed she was at the house during the murder, hearing Meredith's screams while a man attacked her. Later, she changed her statement, saying she had only imagined it. These contradictions fueled suspicion even more. Attention also turned to a local bar owner, Patrick Lumumba, after Amanda mentioned his name during questioning. She suggested he might have been involved, but this turned out to be false. Patrick was innocent, yet the damage was done. His life was dragged into the chaos before he was finally cleared. Meanwhile, another man, Rudy Guede, emerged as a key figure. His DNA was found in Meredith's room, linking him directly to the crime. Still, police refused to let Amanda and Raphael go. Their stories clashed, their timelines felt uncertain, and their behavior was judged harshly. The courtroom of public opinion was already forming, with Amanda painted as a liar and manipulator. What began as grief for a lost friend had now become a battle of conflicting tales, each twist making the case darker and more confusing for everyone involved. Courtroom chaos. When the trial began, the courtroom in Perugia became a stage of drama and confusion. Amanda Knox and Raphael Solicito sat accused of Meredith Kercher's brutal murder, alongside Rudy Guede, whose DNA was undeniably present at the scene. But instead of a clear path to justice, the trial turned into a storm of speculation, mistranslations, and sensational headlines. Prosecutors painted Amanda as a manipulative femme fatale, while her defense insisted she was a scared young woman trapped in a nightmare. The evidence was messy. Guede's connection was strong, yet prosecutors argued that Amanda and Raphael had helped him. They claimed the murder was the result of a twisted game gone wrong, yet the physical evidence tying Amanda and Raphael to the crime was weak. A kitchen knife said to be the murder weapon carried Amanda's DNA on the handle, but not Meredith's on the blade. Footprints, phone records, and timelines were debated endlessly. The world's media crowded the court, turning every hearing into global news. Headlines focused on Amanda's expressions, her clothes, and even her diary entries. For many, it felt less like a trial of facts and more like a trial of character. As witnesses testified and arguments clashed, the truth seemed to slip further away, leaving the courtroom buzzing with doubt, drama, and unanswered questions. Guilty, then free in 2009, after months of heated trial sessions, the court delivered its shocking verdict. Amanda Knox and Raphael Solicito were found guilty of murdering Meredith Kercher. Amanda was sentenced to 26 years in prison, while Raphael received 25. The courtroom erupted with gasps, and the world's media reported the story as if it were the final truth. For many, the guilty verdict confirmed their suspicions. For Amanda and Raphael, it marked the beginning of a long fight to prove their innocence. But the case did not end there. Appeals soon followed, and new questions arose about the evidence. Independent experts reviewed the DNA on the knife and the alleged footprints, concluding that much of the evidence was either unreliable or contaminated. Slowly, the narrative began to change. In 2011, an appeals court overturned the convictions, declaring Amanda and Raphael innocent of murder. After 4 years in an Italian prison, Amanda finally returned home to the United States. The reversal shocked the world just as much as the original conviction. For some, it was justice correcting itself. For others, it was a failure of the legal system. Yet one thing was clear: Meredith Kercher's death still had no simple explanation. Amanda's release left behind a trail of controversy, debate,